We all know that curb appeal is a must for any home, especially if you're trying to sell your home. Well, one way to add that appeal is to incorporate hardscapes into your yard design. One such hardscape is a retaining wall, and the guys at the landscape store show us how easy it is to do it.
The landscape store is your one-stop shop for all of your outdoor needs. Mulch, rocks, sand, fertilizer, grass seed, anything you could possibly use outside, including hardscapes.
Okay, and then what kind of services too? Because I see that you have all the materials and everything, but as far as services, what do you offer?
We also supply an outdoor mecca of guys who can do just about anything. Anything you need, all the way from grass mowing to installing large walls and patios.
Wow, so you really do everything.
We can do it all.
Well, that sounds good. And again, when people are thinking, you know, it's that time of year, you can't really tell it by the weather today, but it's that time of year, it's springtime, so everybody's looking to sort of update, refresh, you know, spring cleaning kind of thing. You offer, so if someone wants to maybe do something with their landscaping, they can come here, but you also offer, what, consulting services where you go to their home?
I personally do not, but we do have folks who will come out and find out anything you need and help you along the way. If you want something to do it yourself, I'm the guy you'd be talking to. Come on down and see me.
So come see Rud because he's going to take good care of you. Well, I understand you're going to give us, show us a very quick how-to here, and we have Ian. Is this Ian?
This is Ian, Dirtworks Landscaping. I'm going to pass it on over to him, and he's going to show you a few things about how to do a wall.
Okay, well, let's go for it, Ian. Good for being here. So I understand you're going to show us a little bit on sort of a how to do it yourself. What is it, a retaining wall of some sort?
Yeah, this would be a retaining wall. You know, as real estate gets more and more valuable in Virginia because everything's hilly, so the retaining walls we can use to do a lot of different things. We can level out flat spaces in the yard. We can create raised beds. You know, you can do freestanding walls, so you can cordon off certain areas of the landscape and make you know, usable patio space. Okay. So there's a lot of things you can do. It's a pretty simple project, depending on the type of block that you get. And what we did here is just kind of lay out the beginning steps of retaining wall. These are the most difficult parts. To start something. So essentially what you would do is start by digging out your footer. The footer needs to be, at least for our area, at least a foot deep by 2 feet wide. Okay. And you would excavate all those soils and get them out of the way. If it's going to be a retaining wall that holds back a hillside, you can just put that soil behind it and use it to backfill later. Okay. We would put in the bottom of the footer what's called a geotextile fabric. Okay. And this separates the soils from the gravels so that the gravel doesn't sink into the soils at a later date. It's kind of like a gravel road. When you're driving over it, you're always having to replace gravel. True. It's the same thing in a footer, so we always put the geotextile in there to hold that gravel up. Okay. Then you get at least a 6 to 8 inch base of gravel. Crusher run is what we would typically use, and get that compacted. You'd use a tamper. You can either rent that or you can use a small hand tamper, but if it's a big project, you're going to want to rent a plate tamper.
And what's a tamper exactly? What does it do?
A tamper vibrates, and it'll make all the stone compact and get really...
So it settles.
So yeah, it'll settle down and get tight so it doesn't move.
And that's important because you don't want the rocks and the stones to really be sinking.
Right, yeah, that's the whole thing to a retaining wall. If your substructure isn't good, then it's moving, and you definitely don't want that.
Okay, so after the gravel, then what do we have here?
Well, then we have, we picked a particular set of stone here. This is a double-sided wall that it can be used as a freestanding wall or a retaining wall. There's a lot of different stones at the landscape store that you can get, different sizes, shapes, colors, textures, weights. So it really depends on what the homeowner wants. But for this one, we used a freestanding wall. The key to this is getting your base course in flat and level. So you're going to want to go, you know, pick a side and work your way out. Usually start at the lowest point of the wall and work your way out. Make sure it's level front to back and side to side. Your first course is going to be the hardest. It's going to take a lot of time, but once you get that in, the rest of it really just stacks like Lego blocks.
And again, if you're looking to do more of a retaining wall, that's probably going, I would imagine, that's going to take a more specific type of stone. So that's where you guys come in, because you shouldn't just go out and buy any stone and hope that it's going to hold something up. You really need to sort of do your research.
Oh yeah, definitely. If it's just a garden feature or it's a raised bed for planting in, that's you know, that's something that a lot of people can do. Even small retaining walls in a yard that's maybe 2 to 3 feet is something that most homeowners could tackle and handle, I think, all right. But if you get anything over that, then you really need to hire somebody to come out and look at it and do the excavation and build it properly, because a tall wall can become dangerous if it's unstable.
And I would imagine, and I only know this because my sister did the same thing at her home, is that curb appeal also very important these days. You know, with the real estate market the way it is, you're trying to do every inexpensive thing that you can to really add that curb appeal and you know, add the dollars to the sale of that home. So very quickly then, what do you suggest there?
I would stick with small things, you know, just outlining beds and things like that around the home. Creating small raised places where you can concentrate mass plantings of things. All those types of things are easy for a homeowner to do, or create a lot of value. Right now, hardscapes are the only thing that actually recapture about 110% of the initial investment. I think kitchens are still in the mid-90s, so it's the only thing that you can do right away that you're going to recapture your initial investment on the home. And again, any kind of landscaping you do is definitely is tied to curb appeal and really helps with the values of homes.
Great advice. These guys really will help you out if you have any kind of ideas or plans, something you'd like to do around your yard. Check out the Landscape Store at thelandscapestore.net. They're right there in Troutville, very convenient to get to and or call.